Hello and welcome to the draft analysis on week 1 team builder and battle for the NJPL. I was the 7th pick in the draft, which was right in the middle because it was a 12 people draft. It, in my opinion, is one of the two worst spots to be in, but I think I still have a very good team. First round I wanted only one mon, and I am very happy to say I did get it, and that was Tapu Bulu. Tapu Bulu is a very strong grass and fairy type with 130 attack and good bulk. It gives grassy surge to set up grassy terrain, weakening earthquake and magnitude, but mostly earthquake. It gets bulk up, calm mind, Mega Horn, Nature's Madness, Taunt, Lead Seed, Wood Hammer. It can run Grassy Seed, raise my defense if I would want to, but that's Tapu Bulu. Round 2 I picked. I originally wanted Zydog, aka Zygod, but I noticed that there was something better left when it came back to me, and that was Zygarde 50%. Zygarde 50% is, even though it only has 100 base attack, it's still very strong dragon and ground type Pokemon with good bulk, decent speed with sub, dragon dance, coil, e-speed, haze, dragon tail, glare, grass knot, 1000 arrows, 1000 waves trapper set with toxic. It gets all sorts of coverage, can go special but probably will be physical most of the time. Crunch, you can run earthquake if you don't need 1000 arrows, aka the best move in the game. It gets superpowers and headbutt. This, I think, it pairs really well with Tapu Bulu because it's a ground type that doesn't get weakened by grassy terrain, because it doesn't use earthquake. Most of the time doesn't use earthquake, it just uses 1000 arrows, which isn't weakened, and it also hits flying and left-day Pokemon and knocks them down to the ground, which is very nice. Next up I drafted my Mega, which I always wanted to draft this Mega. I think it's a very good mon. I used to run it all the time in UU when I still did UU, but it's the one, the only Mega Beedrill with adaptability, poison jabs, and U-turns. Even Fell Stinger are powered up it's made them very strong. Gets extra drill run to counter the steel types. Get brick break knockoff. Get pursuit to trap psychic types. Gets roost, iron defense, toxic spikes, defog if you really want to. Endeavor, baton pass, brick break. You are allowed to baton pass. Think all stats except speed. You can baton pass speed on itself, but not speed and something else. I don't think you can pass speed and subs. It's a very strong one. Physically, you're not going to see it specially because 15 special attack is god awful. It has 145 speed, being extremely fast with good speed F, bad defense, and just monster attack with adaptability. It can just OHKO so many things. Oh yeah, nicknames. Tapu Bulu is called Bullcrap. Zygarde is called Phone, because cell phone. Mega Beedrill is called this Be the Very Best. Great nickname, 10 out of 10. Would not recommend. Next up, I wanted to finish my Dragon Fairy Steel Core because a lot of steel types were going and I needed a steel type. And this is the one I wanted from the beginning because I think it pairs very well with Mega Beedrill on Tapu Bulu, because the mons they can't hit are like Celesteela and Skarmory, Scizor, Mega Scizor. So a mon like Magnezone really pairs up well against them. With Magnet Pull, you can even run Sturdy or Analytic with a built-in Life Orb or a Sash. It gets Discharge and Flash Cannon, even Explosion if you want to. 8 hidden powers, Screens, Magic Coat, Thunder Wave, Tri Attack, Volt Switch to finish my full turn core. This is not even nearly my entire full turn core. I have a very full turn team, but it's the beginning of my full turn core. Sorry. It doesn't get me like Iron Defense, Magnet Bomb, nothing good. You can run Rollout if you want to, Teleport, I don't know. But mostly Discharge, Volt Switch, Inner Power, and then maybe Magnet Rise with very good bulk, great special attack and moderate speed. It can outspeed a lot of things with a Scarf though, so that's not the biggest problem. It's called Bitcoin because it's digital and it's shiny. Next up, I drafted my bulky water because I have no fire resist, and I have 3 months a week to fire. Zygarde does resist it, but it's not doesn't want to be your fire resist. So I decided to go with probably top 5 bulky waters in draft league format. That's Slowking. I really like Slowking, called Hard Hat. It has Regenerator, own tempo, Oblivious Moon, pretty much always Regenerator. Gets Slag off, Trick Room, gets Foul Play, gets Screens, Magic Code, Power Gem, Seismic Toss, Toxic, Trick. Like, it can do a lot of things for you. It gets great coverage like Focus Blast and Earthquake, Flamethrower, Drain Punch, even Calm Mind you can run. Yeah, you can do a lot of things with Slowking, switch out, get 30% back and just do it again. There's there aren't many mons that can really deal with Slowking well, and the ones that can, like Electric and Grass types, they can't really do much to like Tapu Bulu and Magnezone. So I really think this thing fits well in my team. Like there's nothing I think there's nothing that hits Bulu and Slowking both super effectively, which is very nice. Then next up, I wanted to finish my Fire Water Grass core, and I wanted a Dark type because I think Dark types are very important. So I decided to go with Incineroar, which was recently buffed with the Intimidate ability. I'm going to call it My Eye because the Eye of the Tiger, and Incineroar is a tiger, of course, shiny. It gets Darkest Lariat to ignore stat changes, Fake Out, Flame Charge if I want to, Knock Off. It gets Earthquake, Leech Life, Outrage for Dragon type, Thunder Punch, U-turn for more momentum, Taunt. I like Taunt, Will-O-Wisp to weaken mons, a good attack, good bulk, and the same speed as Magnezone. I don't really like having 2 of the same speed tiers, but I really wanted both of these mons, and I don't think it will haunt me in the future. I think my speed tiers are pretty good. overall. So next up, I decided to draft a spinner, a hazard remover, because default Beedrill is not hazard removal. So I decided to go with Hitmon top, finishing my Intimidate core. Got records because of spinning records. Get Bullet Punch, Mark Punch, Fake Out, Sucker Punch, Priority, Vacuum Wave, and get Rapid Spin, of course, Toxic, Close Combat, Stone Age, Pursuit, Low Kick, Earthquake. That's pretty much all it does. Endeavor. It just switches in, fakes out, maybe does some priority things, and Toxic Summons is a wall with Assault Vest, spins. It's just there being annoying and making sure some monsters don't do anything. Bullet Punch, Mark Punch. Not bull. Is it bulldogs? You can set up with a bulk up, with Sucker Punch, Rapids, Spin. Press enter. Get a good bulk, very low special attack, but going to be physical anyway. Good, okay speed stat, even though it's probably going to be bulky all the time. Then next up, I wanted a rock setter. I didn't have a single hazard setter aside from Toxic Spikes or Mega Beedrill, so I had to get a rock setter. I could have gotten a higher tier one, but then I had to get lower tier mons, a lower tier for my other mons, which I didn't want to, so I got Mass Spread. I'm very happy with Mass Spread. It's red locks, shiny, with Levitate, immune to ground type moves, which is nice. Gets incredible coverage, Calm Mind, Healing Wish, Knockoff, Screens, also magical Power Punch, Stealth Rocks, also U-Turn, another mon my full turn core, Trick Room, Psychic, anything here, probably not. Skill swap if we want to maybe do something with some opponent's ability, like a Volt Absorb one that I just take Volt Absorb, it can Volt Switch on me, and then it loses a lot of momentum if I go for like U-turn on the following turn. It has very balanced stats with 80 speed, 105 in rest, and 80 in HP. Yeah, I think I can do a lot of with Mass Spread. It's pretty much forced to come a lot of the weeks because of rocks. But I might make like a free agency move to get another rocker, but I haven't thought about that yet. Next up, I wanted a cleric. I didn't have a cleric yet. I was thinking about Licky, but I didn't think I needed. But Licky was on my mind, but I didn't want Licky, so because I wanted another normal type, but I decided to go with Aromatisse. I think Aromatisse is a very good fairy type. I know I already have Tapu Bulu, but it's not cleric, and Aromatisse is. It also gets viable fairy type coverage. Gets Wish Protect, Light Screen Reflect, Nasty Plot, Trick Room, Toxic, very shallow compared to my other mons. It's a very shallow mon, but it's very good at what it does. So I think I'm very happy with having Aromatisse. I think it'll put in a lot of work. It's very slow, but okay defenses and special attack, and I think it's just gonna be annoying with Wish, Protect, Heal Bell, and then Moonblast or something like that. Next up, I needed a tier 5, and I wanted something that's between Zygarde 50% and Mega Beedrill, there weren't many options, either Furfrou or Purugly, and I decided to go with Purugly. Purugly is a surprisingly good mon when you look at it. It doesn't have the best stats, except for its 112 speed. It's thick, fat, on tempo and defiant, probably going to be thick, fat most of the time, but if you are like against an Intimidate mon or webs, defiant might work. It's got Yo Mama So Ugly, because it's a Purugly. It gets Fake Out, gets Knock Off, Quick Attack, gets Stomping Tantrum, Sucker Punch, Super Fang, Taunt, U-Turn, gets all sorts of moves. Another mon in my full turn core. I think it's a tier 5 people will prep for, and that's pretty much the best you can get in a tier 5 as far as I'm concerned. Then as my last pick, I knew when I picked like picked Aromatisse and Promi, I pretty much knew nobody could get this mon anymore, and I'm very happy I did. I also always wanted to use this mon. It's a very fast mon. It also fills the gap between Beedrill and Zygarde, now Purugly, and that is Tornadus Therian. With Regenerator finishing my Regenerator core, I get U-Turn, another Full Turner, Crunch, Dark Pulse, Defog, Hurricanes, Foul Play, Grass Knot, Focus Blast, Knock Off, Taunt, Psychic, Hidden Powers. It gets a lot of coverage, and Icy Wind, Incinerate, Payback, even Thief, Smackdown. Why does Tornadus get Smackdown? Makes no sense. But if I want to run Smackdown, I can run Smackdown against like a Volcarona. I don't know if I'm like I can't kill it with Hurricane. Then I'll Smackdown, I guess. I doubt Smackdown will come. But it's very fast, pretty strong, bulky-ish. This team is not very bulky. It doesn't have walls, but it has. All my mons are like bulky. I have no mon that's really frail except from Mega Beedrill. Every mon is pretty bulky. It's Mega Beedrill aside, every mon is bulky and offensive, so I've like bulky offense from every single mon. I don't know how much I'm going to like it, but Tornadus is better for unknown reasons. But I think I'll really like using this team. I do see a flaw in no rockers pretty much and no defoggers, and I do have hazard removal, but I have only one rocker, which is suboptimal, but I might make a transaction, as I said. Okay, so week 1, I am against Yuri and the Sunnyside Solrocks with a team of Tapu Fini, Amoonguss, Crobat, Galvantula, Bronzong, Evelyn, Mega-Gallade, Shenandoah, Flygon, Taurus, and Weavile. Shenandoah he didn't have Shenandoah yet in our battle. It was a Goodra, so ignore Shenandoah and imagine it's a Goodra. Okay, Tapu Fini, good bulky water and fairy type, lacks recovery, so relies on leftovers, gets Nature's Madness, Surf, Taunt, Defog, just is fat, defogs, Nature's Madness, wears down teams with Taunt, Wall Breaker. Then Amoonguss being fat with Regenerator and Spore, Sludge Bomb, Clear Smoke, just Foul Play, being annoying as Amoonguss always is. Yeah, it's hard to break Amoonguss, and it can wall some teams very well. I don't think my team is that walled by it, because I got a Tornadoes, Mesprit, Slowking, and a Incineroar, but I think it will come anyway. Crobat is very fast, can run a bulky set with like Taunt, Roost, Super Fang, and Brave Bird or Toxic. Can also run like a special nasty plot set, can run a bandit set, can run a lot of different sets. It's just fast and annoying, can U-turn out, be annoying to kill. Next, Galvantula. Galvantula is pretty much just webs. The only thing Galvantula does well is webs. It can be a slight threat with like Thunder and Bug Buzz with like Life Orb Perspective. Can Volt Twitch out, finishes the full turn core. Webs. Galvantula's webs. Bronzong is his only rocker. Gets Gyro Ball, Earthquake, Trick Room, Trick, access to Left Aid and Heat Proof. Probably left Aid against me though. If it came, that Bronzong can wall some of my mons pretty well, but we'll see if it comes. Evelug is physically bulky as all hell. It has like 200 defense or something insane. How bulky Evelug is. Gets Recover, gets Avalanche, gets Rapid Spin, gets Toxic, gets just is bulky. It's annoying. If you don't have an answer for it, it can just stall out your team and you can't do anything about it. Then there's Mega Gallade, very fast, very strong, 110 speed, 165 attack, priority in Shadow Sneak, knockoff Ice Punch, Zen Headbutt, close combat, Sword Dance, bulk up. It's a very scary mon. If it setups in your face, and you can't do anything about it, you pretty much lose. Luckily, my team is very fast, and I have multiple things that outspeed it, so it's less of a threat than it normally would be, but it's still very, very scary. Then there's Chandelure. Wait, no Chandelure. Then there's Gudra. Gudra Assault Vest can wall a portion of my team. Sap Sipper for Bulu, I don't know. It gets great coverage, Ice Beam, Sludge Wave, Thunderbolt, Dragon Pulse, Draco Meteor, Flamethrower, Fire Blast. It just does being fed very well. Then there's Flygon, Dragon Dance, Scarf, U-turn, Earthquake. I expect like Iron Tail because that's the only way it hits Bulu. It can roost for recovery. I don't really expect it. It doesn't do that well, but Flygon can be annoying with like Dragon Dance and Earthquake, Iron Tail. Then there's Tauros. Tauros is a very, very strong mon. Life Orb, Sheer Force, can do a lot of damage to a lot of your mons. It gets Ice Beam and Fire Blast, Thunderbolt, Body Slam, Earthquake. It gets a lot of coverage and can use that coverage. Even though it only has 40 special attack, Ice Beam is still going to hurt mons that are weak to it because of Sheer Force and Life Orb potentially. Then there's Weavile, very fast in 125 speed, knockoff, Ice Cold Crash, very strong priority in Ice Shard, stops Zygarde from doing anything except like Coil. Even then I can't stop it. Okay, Weavile is just fat. Weavile isn't. Weavile is just scary and does a lot of damage to pretty much everything except Hitmontop and maybe Aromatisse with Kinstor and Z moves. His CUs are Weavile and Chandelure. I forgot to mention my CUs are Tornadus Area and Psychic 50%. I thought about Bulu, but I opted against it and for Tornadus Sarian because I have some tricks up my sleeve. Then my team builder for against his team is Records, the Hitmontop with Intimidate, Rapid Spin, Low Kick, Rock Slide and Substitute. Max HP, enough speed, outspeed, no speed, Gudra I think, and then mostly Fizz Def, a little bit of Speed Def investment for nothing in particular, not for something in particular. Rapid Spin for webs and rocks, Low Kick for Avalugg, and Low Kick over Close Combat because Close Combat doesn't have big advantages over Low Kick damage wise, and I don't want to drops in defense. Rock Slide for Crobat's predictions. It still gets easily walled by multiple mons, but it's there to not let Weavile win easily. Then Substitute, because I have leftovers and grassy terrain in Bulu and I don't want to get toxic. Yeah, that's Hitmontop. Next, Slowking. Slowking is designed to not lose to a Sword Stance Mega Gallop. If it Sword Stance on my switch in, he can't KO me aside from Thunder Punch and Leaf Blade, but I don't expect either. Knockoff doesn't kill me and Foul Play does. Then a Side Shock and Flamethrower because his only psychic resist are Weavile and Bronzong, and Flamethrower is super effective against both of them. Slack off for recovery, Regenerator for recovery, near max physically defensive with enough speed to outspeed Bronzong if necessary, and then that's Slowking. Hardhead, Slowking, then Belly Button the Tornadus with safety goggles, Hurricane, U-turn, Knockoff, Icy Wind with regenerated ability, enough speed to outspeed Max Speed, Mega Gallade, and a defensive Crobat, but I don't think a defensive Crobat outspeed Mega Gallade. Max Special Attack and the rest in HP. Hurricane, there is no switching aside from Bronzong. Bronzong is easily switched into. I can switch out of U-turn and click Knockoff. Icy Wind is for Fly God and faster Crobat because it can't OHKO me. But then I can outspeed it afterwards and KO it with Hurricane because there's no switching. Safety goggles so I can switch into Amoonguss because Amoonguss is annoying and fat and doesn't die. That's Tornadus Sarian. Then there is Tapu Bulu with the Yachi Berry, Grassy Surge, Nature's Madness, and Headbutt, Horn Leech, and Rock Tomb. Max Attack, Adamant, enough speed to outspeed the majority of bulky Crobats at -1 speed, and the rest in HP. Yachi Berry is for ice moves from Weavile, Ice Beam from Tauros, Ice Beam from Gudra, Ice Punch from Mega Gallade, Avalanche from Avalugg, and HP Ices and Ice Beam from Feeny. Its thing is can switch into Feeny pretty easily. Nature's Madness into Sand Headbutt kills the majority of Moongusses. Rock Tomb into Sand Headbutt kills the majority of Crobats. Horn Leech just for stab, and this thing is just to break down his walls. I can't break down with my other mons, and that's pretty much it. I can't outspeed like a Crobat outspeed creeping Tornadus Sarian. I can't outspeed after a Rock Tomb. I have to keep that in mind, but I think that it's going to be a bulky set for Mega Beedrill and Bulu. Then there is Yes Dog, the Aromatisse with Aromaville, Leftovers, Moonblast, Psychic, Wish, and Protect. His Moonblast resists are Bronzong, Crobat, and Amoonguss, so Psychic does damage to them. Wish Protect for recovery and Wish Passing nearly max his def and enough speed to outspeed Bronzong without any speed investment. Um, and this set is just being annoying. It lifts a Z poison jab from a Weavile, unboosted, and it can do very good damage to Weave. I don't know if it OHKOs with Moonblast, but it does a lot of damage at the very least. Then there's My Eye, the Incineroar, the Choice Scarf, Intimidate ability, Thunder Punch, U-Turn, Knockoff, and Flare Blitz. Thunder Punch with Tapu Fini, and Crobat with mainly Tapu Fini, because that's only Flare Blitz switch in, aside from also like Goodra and Flygon, but I can U-turn and Knockoff, and they aren't that big of a threat, especially after Goodra's AV is knocked off. It doesn't do much. I outspeed a Weavile and max speed Weavile, and I rest in attack and rest in HP. Nice attack, rest in HP. I think this set can really break through his team successfully. Is seeing no fire resists, and if Tapu Fini comes, Thunder Punch does good damage. Tapu Bulu walls it. This thing walls it. This thing does good damage to it, and it can't recover aside from leftovers, which I can also just knock off. Yeah, it can recover to grassy terrain, but that won't be the biggest problem, I don't think. And now I'll just go on to the battle. Spoilers. Whatever. I see Everlug, Megalith, Crobat, Tauros, Flygon, and Weavile. I didn't expect Tauros or Flygon, but I can see them coming. I didn't expect Flygon. I thought Amoonguss or Bronzong had a way better matchup, but I think that's just a good thing. Everlug, I really expected it. Fist Def, I can't really deal with it well. Mega Gallade, Swords Dance or Bulk Up with 3 moves. That's what I expect. I expect bulky Crobat. I expect Sheer Force, Life Orb, Scarf, Sheer Force, Tauros. Flygon, either Dragon Dance or Scarf. Either Flygon or Tauros or Scarf. Weavile, I expect just offensive Life Orb or extra belt of choice banded set with, or like Never Melt Ice, and I thought that Incineroar had a very good matchup, so I just led Incineroar, and he decided to lead Flygon. I feared Scarf, so I hard switched into Tapu Bulu as he went for U-turn. This makes me think it's Scarf, but I can't know for sure. He switched into Crobat, a good switch into Tapu Bulu. I switched into a dedicated answer, which is Slowking. Well, not dedicated, but it's my answer to it. He's Nasty Plots, which I didn't expect Nasty Bad. I didn't even expect the offensive Crobat. I Psyshock, he goes into Tauros. I switch into Hitmontop and he Toxic me. This sucks, but I understand the play. I see that he wanted to Toxic the Slowking, which would have really helped him out in the future. And if Slowking got Toxic, I really didn't have an answer for a lot of his mons, like Weavile or Mega Gallade. I can't wall his team successfully. So he Toxics Hitmontop, which sucks. I expect him to switch out, so I switch out into Mega Gallade, so I double out into Tornadus. And for this very specific situation, I have Icy Wind. But he just switched into Red Eyes Avalanche, which walls, which doesn't wall me, but Avalanche kills me, so I just U-turn into Incineroar, which walls Avalanche pretty well. I can just get a free Flare Blitz. There is no switch into my Flare Blitz. He goes into his Tauros with Intimidate and Intimidate and Toxic, which really makes me think it's not Scarf. So I just go for Flare Blitz, take it out, and it turns out to be Scarf, which is mind blowing to me. But alright. Tauros goes down, I'm at 2%, I can't do anything anymore, and I just decide to sack my Incineroar to the Weavile. I go into Aromatisse, and if Weavile can't OHKO me, I expect it to switch out into Crobat, so I click Psychic. Hindsight 2020, I should always have Moonblasted. If he goes into Crobat, I can always just switch out. Crobat is not a threat to my team, as long as Slowking is alive, and I'm not planning on sacking it in the near future anyway, so I should just Moonblast, but I didn't. I Psychicked. He goes for Z-Poison, Jab, which I do live. Not easily, but I do live it, and I go for Psychic, which was a huge misplay, to be completely honest. I'll calculate how much this would damage. Calc. Aromatisse and Cleric versus Weavile. Oh, you all-out attacker. Moonblast does 80 to 98%, which would have been very good damage on Weavile. I should have definitely Moonblasted, but I didn't, and that mattered a lot. I should have played better, but I didn't. I protect for leftovers recovery, just Ice Cold Crisis because it kills. Then I go into Hitmontop, preserving Aromatisse, maybe wish up later and get my health back. He just poison jabs. I eat that and I scare him out. I expect him to switch out, so I into Crobat, so I Rock Slide, do good damage, but I have to switch out anyway. I decide to just go into Slowking because Slowking walls Crobat, and you see how little air slash does, even though I'm not SWDEF invested whatsoever. I'm just near max HP. I expected him to predict the Size Shock and go into Weavile, so I Flamethrower, but he went into Flygon and just U-turned out into Weavile. I foul played, predicting the Dragon Dance. I didn't want to let him set up. I didn't think that he was scarfed anymore because Solrocks was. I decided to just sack Aromatisse here because it couldn't do much. Hindsight, I may have been able to wish on the Everlug and get health back and be annoying that way. I probably should have, but I didn't. I checked it off. I went in the Hitmontop, predicted it. Wait, did I predicted it to switch out. Wait, no, yeah, I did predict it to switch out. I went into Slowking, predicted to switch out into Crobat. He didn't. He went to Galate. He switched out into Crobat, predicting me to switch. I don't know why. I just foul played because it was designed to beat it. Then I predict it to go into Weavile again, so I Flamethrower. He doesn't. He goes for goes into Flygon. His Dragon Claws, as I just recover. Flygon can't beat me. He crits me with U-turn. Kinda mattered, but not really. I just Size Shock, and that does absolutely nothing to Avalanche, showing its incredible physical defenses. I predicted it to go for Toxic because there's no reason an Avalanche would ever switch into a Slowking if he knows I have Flamethrower. He needs the Toxic Slowking to have a chance to knock it out. If if Weavile or Megalith can't, and I couldn't let that happen, so I had to switch out pretty much into Hitmontop. He did go for Toxic. I'm very happy I did switch, and now I have the problem of Avalok. I don't know how to deal with Avalok, because if the two monsters that can do damage to it either die or get toxic, and I don't want either to happen, I thought he would switch. I predicted him to switch. I went into Tornadus. I should have just low kicked one of these turns, and I could have easily revenged it or like done damage to it with Slowking or Tornadus. Even if he recovered, I could, I think, take it out. Then here I go for Rock Tomb. Avalanche hit, triggers the Yachi Berry. It does nothing, but after I hit it and I don't have a berry anymore, I do take like 40%. I go back into Hitmontop. He just Avalanche again, and I just 20 turns of me not knowing how to deal with this Avalanche, and that really is really annoying. I thought I might just lose to Avalanche because I couldn't beat him. Then I just low kick. He switched out finally for some reason, probably because it was time for attack. But I switch into Tornadus. I know I can eat any hit. He goes for some headbutt. I should have Hurricane because there's no switching, but I decided to U-turn because I knew he would switch out. I should have Hurricane. If I hit it, Avalanche wasn't a problem anymore, but I didn't. I U-turned into Hitmontop. He finally decided to stay in on my low kick, so I finally got any damage on it. He avalanche and crits me. That crit did matter in killing me, but I think I would have just low kicked until I died anyway, and he would have been in a comparable amount of health. I Hurricane. I didn't kill him. I confused him, and he hurt himself in confusion. He clicked Toxic here. That he wouldn't have killed me, but it would have changed my mindset in the rest of the game. I decided to sack off Tapu Bulu here to the Weavile. I don't think it would have done anything anymore. I had to switch into Slowking, take the knockoff from Colbert Berry, and I Flamethrower. It does surprisingly little damage. The knockoff, I thought it would do even do 50%, even though I don't have the Colbert Berry, but it didn't do that much. I just kept Flamethrowering. If I switch into Flygon, I can easily slack off on this. As a Dragon Class, I predict him to go for U-turn, and I didn't want to have the U-turn damage on me when he switched into something else, so I had to slack off again. He goes in the Crobat. He decides to sack it off, I think. I don't know why, but he decides to sack it off to my Psyshock. And here he goes back into Flygon. He tries to take me down. I decided not to slack off. He reveals Roost. I just recover again, and he thinks he can't break Slowking, and I just sit here. He tries to U-turn for damage and then kill me with knockoff, but I slack off, and then he can't kill me with knockoff. I kill him back with Flamethrower, and he switched into Mega Gallade. I was scared of Mega Gallade Sword Dancing here because or having like knockoff or Leaf Blade or something like that, or Thunder Punch, because those did kill. And so I just foul played. I should have slacked off or switched out sacking tornadoes, but even if he crit me there, but the damage wouldn't have mattered. Um, I I just thought that I just knew that I had to hit one of two hurricanes and then icy wind, and I would win. So I go for the first hurricane. I do miss, which is expectable to be expected, and he frees me with ice punch. This freeze pretty much determined my loss. It pretty much meant that I lose. I had the hope I thought out and hit the hurricane, but I didn't. I stay frozen, and he knocks me out with ice punch. The freeze loss is way much more annoying than just missing two hurricanes. Missing two hurricanes wouldn't upset me nearly as much as freezing, but it's part of the game, sadly. So you have to deal with it, and I'll try to recover from this sour loss. I'll see you all next time on another Draft League video. Bye.